I still remember the taste of blood in my mouth when the paramedics lifted me onto the stretcher. My vision was shaking, fading in and out like a dying bulb, and all I could think was, "Call her. She'll come. My wife, my partner of 7 years, the woman who once cried because I caught a fever." But when the nurse handed me the phone and whispered, "We need consent for surgery, sir," I dialed her number with trembling fingers and heard the coldest sentence of my life. "Can't this wait? We're busy at work." No panic, no breathless concern, just irritation, like I had interrupted a meeting with my broken ribs and internal bleeding. The nurse looked at me, confused. I forced a smile. "Call my brother, he'll handle it." And he did. He arrived in 15 minutes, still wearing his mechanic overalls, hands greasy, face pale with fear. He signed the papers. He held my hand. He waited outside the operating room. My wife didn't show up. Not that night, not the next morning, not even when the doctors said he might have died if we waited. I learned something that day. Love isn't tested in calm waters, only in the storm. Before that accident, I thought she loved me, ferociously, completely. I should have noticed the signs, the new passwords, the sudden late-night team meetings, the way she angled her phone like it was a diary of state secrets. But marriage teaches you a dangerous skill: making excuses. She was stressed. Her promotion was demanding. We were drifting, but it wasn't anyone's fault, or so I told myself. It was the 3rd week after I was discharged. I was still limping, still healing, still pretending things were normal. She had been strangely gentle, almost guilty, until the guilt faded back into distance. One evening, I walked into her home office to ask if she wanted tea. A message flashed across her screen before she could close the laptop. "He survived? Damn, I thought the accident would give us more time." It was from her work friend, a man she had mentioned 8 times in the past year like a rehearsed lie. She froze. I froze. And suddenly the hospital scene made perfect sense. She didn't come because she wasn't busy. She didn't come because she didn't want to. She didn't come because she wasn't alone. Pain blooms differently when it comes from betrayal. It doesn't stab. It burns. She tried to explain. Words spilled out of her like cracked glass. "We were just talking. I didn't mean, it wasn't like that. I panicked. I didn't know." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse. I didn't react. Inside, a storm formed, cold, structured, merciless. I decided that night she wanted me gone from her life. Fine, but I would choose the exit. And I would choose the terms. Revenge doesn't start with rage. It starts with clarity. While she slept, I made plans. First, evidence. I cloned her phone, quietly, legally. Screenshots, voicemails, photos taken in hotel rooms I never knew she visited. Enough to level a mountain. Second, financial separation. Our joint account became my own within days. I rerouted my salary. I froze unnecessary cards. I reviewed our prenup, something she insisted on when we married. It stated that infidelity nullifies her claims. She had forgotten that. I hadn't. Third, the final blow. I called my lawyer. I asked him to prepare divorce papers and asset division documents. He whistled when he saw the evidence. "This is airtight," he said. "I know," I replied. For 3 weeks, I played the role of the recovering husband. Warm, soft-spoken, forgiving. She believed it. She relaxed. The night before the finale, she laughed for the first time in months. "Maybe we needed a reset," she said, touching my hand. I smiled back. Because sometimes mercy looks like kindness, right before the strike. The next morning, I packed my belongings while she was at work. I placed the divorce papers on the dining table. I included every screenshot in printed form, neatly labeled, chronologically arranged, like an autopsy report of our marriage. And I left the house key beside them. She called me 50 times before noon. I ignored every call. Then she showed up at my brother's shop, eyes swollen, mascara melted, shaking like someone cut her world in half. "Please," she cried, "we can fix this. Don't do this." I looked at her the same way she looked at her phone when I was bleeding on a hospital floor. Detached, inconvenienced. "We can't fix something you killed," I said. She broke down, a sound between a gasp and a scream. I walked away. That was the moment the power shifted, not because I won, but because she finally realized what she had lost. 2 days later, she signed everything. No fight, no negotiation. She knew she didn't stand a chance. When I walked out of the lawyer's office, papers in hand, the sun felt different, warmer, honest. My brother met me outside. He hugged me, tight, grounding. "You deserved better," he said. I did, and now I had the proof. That accident didn't break me, it woke me. And her betrayal didn't end me, it delivered me. Sometimes the strongest revenge isn't destruction, it's walking away with everything they tried to take from you. I left the marriage with my dignity, my freedom, my name, my finances intact. She was left with the one thing she always feared, a life without control. And I finally felt alive again.